Hey everybody, welcome back to Geeks and Freaks and day 10 of our Halloween countdown. Deadlight is a side-scrolling puzzle platformer released on Xbox 360 and Windows 10 in 2012, and with a director's cut released once again this year. The game looks and plays in much the same style of another game we featured this Halloween, Limbo, but with a keener focus on action compared to the puzzle-heavy gameplay of Limbo. The story of Deadlight is a standard zombie affair. Randall, our playable character, is on a mission to find his missing wife and child in a post-apocalyptic zombie-infested world. The story itself is minimal. There is an overarching narrative that pieces itself together as players progress through the main story, but larger parts of the narratives are found in collectible notes, hidden areas, and pages of Randall's lost diary. This method of storytelling, whilst nothing new to the video game market, plays nicely into the themes of the game. There is a larger story buried in here somewhere, but casual players of the game will feel the same sense of unknowing that characters within the world would be feeling. The means by which the world has ended up like this is never explicitly stated, but the atmosphere and settings give a traditional post-apocalyptic sense. Areas look familiar to what you might expect in an American city, and buildings look lived in, giving a real sense that this was at one point a living, breathing city. The effects of the zombie outbreak are visibly present throughout, but not so much that it becomes unbelievable. What story there is shown through the use of cell-by-cell cutscenes, similar to what you might see in the likes of games like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. This visual style, whilst realistically probably being included for the sake of time and cost, actually brings to mind a comic book series like Walking Dead, which ties nicely into the post-apocalyptic themes that the game is going for. In-game, as we mentioned earlier, Deadlight has visual similarities with Limbo, and whilst it avoids the full black and white aesthetics, the colour scheme is minimal and the graphics dark and shadowy, emphasising the lifelessness of the world. The game isn't particularly scary, unless you've already got a fear of zombies, but opts instead to portray the depressing nature of the world around you. Again, like Limbo, the game has good use of its backgrounds. Here the game is presented in a 2.5D perspective. Randall can move exclusively on a 2D plane, but the foreground backgrounds are never left out of the action. From hapless groups of zombies mulling around in the background to a passing shadow close to the camera, there's a real sense that the world is well populated, without needing to put a ton of enemies directly in your path. Gameplay is what you'd expect from an indie game of the type. Randall splits his time between platforming, which is presented in a style not too dissimilar from Epic Games' own indie title Shadow Complex, puzzle solving, which focuses on environmental puzzles, using aspects of the world around you to overcome realistic obstacles, for example putting out a fire with a damaged water tower. Finally, there's combat. Randall isn't completely defenceless against the zombie horde, with melee weapons and guns being found relatively early on in the game. In the interest of not being overpowered though, combat does have its downfalls. Melee attacks are slow and sluggish, with each swing taking a dent from Randall's already limited stamina bar. When this is empty, Randall will not only be unable to attack, but also unable to run or climb to get away from his brain-dead foes. Guns are also available, but the rarity of bullets means that they should only be used when absolutely necessary. Even if you're in a sticky situation, the need to manually load each bullet into the gun could put you in a spot of bother, as zombies, while stupid, can easily and quickly overpower you, so where possible it's best to avoid large groups. To aid you with this, Randall can taunt enemies into nearby environmental traps, like electricity and spikes, but be careful because regardless of how much health you have, these traps can one-hit kill you as well, so be on your toes. The gameplay is a fairly standard affair, but there's enough set pieces mixed in so you don't get too bored. Even without them, it might be difficult to lose too much attention as the game, whilst fun is extremely short, running at about 4 to 5 hours. At 15 quid you might be put off by the short playtime, but if you've got some cash burning through your pockets this Halloween, Deadlight is a game that's definitely worth a playthrough.